Alright, hi everyone, welcome back to another tutorial of Salesforce Makes Sense. In this tutorial or curriculum, we are mastering collections like a pro. We did the first 3 use cases in the last tutorial. We'll look at the next 3 in this one. Alright, so jumping right into the tutorial, for those of you who have been following the tutorials from the beginning, the use case says write a set to store unique account IDs from a list of contacts associated with the accounts. So it wants you to pull out all the account IDs which are linked to contacts. Now, how do you do that? It's more of a Salesforce query problem, right? So if I were to say select ID comma name from account, right, I could get all the IDs of account, but how do you know that that account also has a child contact, right? So it would be better that you say select ID comma name from contact, right? And you pull in ID comma name comma account ID here, which is your parent, right? So when you do this very basic query, you see that you have this list coming up and one of them does not have an account, meaning I need to put a where clause saying I only want records where account ID exists, because I want to get this list of IDs, correct? So, and it says not a list, it says a set, meaning it should be unique. Now, how many contacts are there? There are 25 contacts which are linked to accounts. But if you look at the account, it's all similar, meaning you don't have too many accounts, right? If I were to say account dot name, how many do you have? You see edge communications, so it's repeated a lot, right? It probably is like 7 or 8 accounts in total, right? So we just want to get that list. We just want to get the unique account IDs. So whenever uniqueness comes in picture, you use a set, right? And I've written it here, but business will never tell you to write a set. So you need to understand from the use case requirement. All right. So I want to store this in a set, as simple as that. I'll just take this query. I'll just fix it a bit. I'll say where account ID select S should be capital, select actually entirely should be capital, ID N A, this is just my practice. This is how I normally prefer to have my queries written. Okay, contact. Okay, perfect. Now looks neat. And now I'll go back to VS Code and I'm going to create a fourth method. This is going to be called use case 4. All right, so this is what use case 4. All right, and now I'll just go ahead and remove all of this stuff. And what I want to do is I want to create a set. So I'm going to say set of string. Okay, now here I want to store the account IDs, right? IDs are a bit unique. See, you can even do set of ID or you can do set of string. IDs are okay with both. Okay, so if I say set of ID, I can say account IDs is equal to new set of ID. This works. Okay, as a data type, IDs are allowed to be ID of ID type, or they can also be string. Okay, now I can say for each contact in which query? In this query, correct? So I can say for each contact in this query, I want to store account IDs. Inside account IDs, I want to store the con.account ID. Make sense? And this will always be there because I put the not null check here, as simple as that. So for con.account ID, I'm adding it to the account IDs list. Perfect. Very straightforward. I'll say system.debug and I'll say account IDs.size and I'll say system.debug account IDs. So I can just see what are the account IDs. Ideally, it will be like 7 or 8. It will not be 25 because there are duplicates and set eliminates the duplicates. So in this contact, if the account ID is coming multiple times, it will only store it once. That's the benefit of a set. Okay, let's quickly verify. Let's go to Salesforce, execute, and this time I'll say use case 4. I'll say execute. Let's close all the, okay, let's wait for this. I'll say debug only, and you see there are only 14 of them. Okay, even though the records were 25, there's only 14. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Maybe it's repeated. So if I say order by account dot name, then I should be able to see properly. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's the result. Perfect. So looks good. Awesome. So I hope you are able to get the hang of how to, create or define a list, how to write a very quick SQL query, how to put that list into use, how to write enhanced for loops. So it's all very basic. If you have done my Apex Masterclass, this is very basic for you. Okay, but that's okay. The idea is to reach maps, and I want you to go there after you are good with, list and sets. Perfect. Let's look at use case 5. Let's close all of these tabs. Let's go to the keynote. Use case 5. Use a list to hold the names of leads where the lead source is web. Okay, hold the names of leads. So I want to query all the lead records. So let's say select ID comma name from lead. Okay, so how many leads do I have? I have 26 leads. I want to get the names, but whose names do I want to get? Whose lead source is web. So lead source is a standard field. Let's query what is the lead source for these guys. So some of them are web, right? Only these records I want to fetch. So I want to say where lead source is equal to web. I'll add a space here or else it will fail by compilation. So how many names are there that I have where lead source is web? Let's execute and check. It's taking some time. So it's only 10 records, and this is the 10 record that I want. Even though web lead is the same name, I am storing it in a list. So I'm going to get 10 records. Okay, it's not going to eliminate duplicates for me. Maybe these two people are different because there could be people with the same first name and last name, right? So that's why. All right, so now I have this query. I'll take this query, I'll go back to VS Code, and I'll say list of string lead names is equal to new list of string. You see how my naming convention is always spot on, the lead names, account ID. So it's very clear and easy to understand. All right, always make sure you follow the same approach. So for every lead in this query that I've written, I want to just extract the lead record dot name, and I want to add it to my list. So lead record dot name, and that's it. That's another use case done. Very easy, right? Lead names dot size, and then lead names. Let's print it out and let's see if the debug shows up the same thing that we are expecting, about 10 records. Let's go to Salesforce. Let's go execute anonymous. Let's test it out. Execute. 10 records. Let's look at the debug only. It is 10 records. Perfect. All the 10 records are comma separated. All right, looks good. Good to move to the next use case. Let's go. Write a list to store contact phone numbers where the mailing state is California. Which object? Contact. What field? Phone number. What is the where condition? Mailing state. So let's go to Salesforce. That's use case number 6. Select ID comma mailing address from contact. All right, so mailing address is an object, so I have to split it. So I have to say mailing state. Let's take mailing state. What is mailing state? It should be California. That's what it is saying. So let's refresh and let's wait for the execution to happen. So here, if you see, CA is California. There's only one record. Okay, let's make 1 or 2 more CA. Save those. All right, so now there are 3 records. Perfect. So these 3 records should be in this list that we are wanting to store. But what do we want to store? We want to store the phone numbers of these people, right? So I'm going to say phone. Execute. So if you see, the CA guys don't have a phone number, so let me pick some random guys to be updated as CA so that we get those phone numbers added. Okay, so these records are now saved and there are only 3. So if I were to say where mailing state is equal to CA, execute. So these are the 6 records, but only ones with the data of phone. Not equal to null. Execute. How many records are there? It says okay, this and is a problem. Execute, and this says there are only 3 records. And you see the order in which I have filtered is also very important for performance. So mailing state will be first and phone will be second, because this will restrict the data to a bigger set, right? If you have 1000 records, out of that only 9 are mailing state, so it will already filter out 9 and then it will apply the not null check. Okay, if you do phone not equal to null first, what does that mean? That means if 500 records don't have phone, first 500 will be filtered out, then out of that 500 the system has to search all 500 and then check which is CA, correct? So always make sure whatever filters your data more granular, put that as the first condition in the where clause. Okay, great. Let's take this and let's go to VS Code and let's create our 6th use case here. Okay, now here I want to store all the phone numbers. So I'll put it as a string for now. Let's see what happens. Do we get a typecast error? Okay, and I'll say for each, what is my object? My object is what? Contact, right? So for each con record in this query that I have used, in this query, I want to basically say con record dot phone is what I want to store, and I want to store it where? I want to store it in my list, which is called phone numbers. And what method do I use? I say phone numbers dot add. Perfect, looks good. Let's say system dot debug phone numbers dot size. This should be phone numbers. Deploy. Let's see if it deploys fine first of all. Deploy it fine. Let's say save one more time, deploy one more time. Okay, deployed fine. Let's go to Google Chrome. Let's say use case 6, and this time it should give me the result as 3 records in the debug log. If it is showing 3, then we are good. Debug only, it shows 3. Perfect. Easy peasy. Nothing fancy. Just one circle, just one assignment, just one for loop, and you're done. Alright, and most of your get records are basically like this. You get data like this, right? This is what you get data. You just return it from here. That's all. That's how you use LWC with Apex. You get records and you put it there with your conditions. Okay, but it's important that you know how do you want to return that data. List of string, list of ID, set, and all of that stuff. Alright, great. I think we've done 6 use cases. I'll again stop here. We'll look at the next 3 in the next tutorial. But before that, let me clear this version control. I think all the debug logs are showing here somehow. Discard changes, discard, and that's my Apex class. So I'm going to say feat added 6 use cases for, okay, let's put a better comment. Collections use case 1 to 6. Let me remove the hyphen. It might, I don't know, break or something. Collection use case 1 to 6. Okay, and I'll say commit. So, and then I'll say sync changes. I hope it goes to the main branch directly. Let's check. Yeah, it has gone to the main branch. So 6 use cases done. Perfect. We'll do the 7th in the next one. But before that, let's come back here. Let's look at our GitHub branch, and you'll see that the latest commit is the, just now I've committed, which is this file right here, 1 to 6. What does it contain? It contains my Apex class with all the use cases. So if you want to refer it, use it, you can fork it, you can copy it, you can clone it, and you can do everything. All right. So it's in the understanding collections repository. Perfect. I will see you in the next one with the 7th use case. Bye-bye.